Hey everyone, this is Dezi with Outdoor Extreme with OX Files, where the truth is out there in the field. Today we're going over a couple of things, such as our previous event that we just went to from CPX at Outdoor Extreme, 7 Points, Texas, formerly What's Up Paintball. This event we had there was a great time. We're going to be going over that. A Tomb Raider event, themed event, happening in Angelica, New York. After that, we're going to be moving on into explanation of the Swamp Monkeys Kids team, our youth paintball team, not tournament, based around scenario, recreational, kind of the do's, the way the things go down with us in our team. And then after that, we're going to be moving into air tanks, do's and don'ts on maintenance, as well as pressures that you should be aware of your different markers. Things like that, you can't just take a brand new bottle and just plug it into your marker and getting ready to rip. It's just, you may screw some things up. So what we're going to do is we're going to help educate you guys so that you can make sure that doesn't happen, as well as keeping your regulator clean. Clean air going into a clean marker and your money all the time. So we'll get right to it. But first, before we do that, I got to introduce you guys to my amazing man behind the scenes. His name is Mr. Gator. Mr. Gator, what's happening today, Doug?
What's up, folks? How's it going, everybody? Thanks for coming and watching. Appreciate it.
He is the man behind the scenes. He knows electronics. He knows the systems. He knows how it's all set up. I do not. I do great at picking stuff up. I do great at cranking wrenches and Allen keys. When it comes to electronics, when it comes to the systems, that is the man behind the scenes. So I appreciate you, Gator, doing this.
My pleasure, buddy.
We've also got you guys right now live on Facebook now. You guys can always jump in and follow us on Facebook. You guys can follow us on YouTube. You guys like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Right now, this is a recorded one, so you guys can follow back within this information here as we get into the more detailed stuff. So let's kick right to it. So we went to Outdoor Extreme 7 Points, Texas. This was a fantastic field. Really a bush Wookiees paradise mixed in with all kinds of man-made structures. A total of 70 acres, I believe it was, as well as but 48 acres of playing fields. They had everything from man-made structures such as buildings, shipping containers, tractor trailers, as well as water totes, tractor tires, cool fortresses built around. Just a really rad field. Oh, and also one of the best things too, trenches. In Texas, you can dig. In Florida, you can't dig. That's how you end up with a mosquito nest. So that's why we build up out here. The event that was hosted was by CPX Legendary Events. This event in particular was one off. These events for Bones and Ashes is a 3-team battle. You have red and blue that are going against each other for competing in missions, different objectives. However, you have a third faction team that is controlled by production. We went in there as a force that we don't care if you're red or blue, we putting it on all of you. In that process, our job was to move troops, push players out of a certain area, or break stalemate lines. So if you had one team that was base trapping another team, well, if the one team can't fight their way out of it and get out of there, our job was to come in, set up shop right in between red and blue, and blast our way out of there. Break the line, give the other team a chance to come on out, and then we move on to another section of the field. Our job was also dropping props that were specific for certain missions, whether it was a mini mission or a main mission. We were involved and enveloped with the production line. It wasn't us just free doing our own thing. That wasn't it at all. Instead, what we were doing was we are making the game move. So if we had an area such as the city that was up close, right up by the production tent or a vendor row, we were set up shop there and we pushed all the teams off into the woods. We were able to hold them off for a certain amount of time. Then we would pick up our respawn tower and we would move it on to another location. With 7 Points, Texas is a really, really flat area out there. It did have a little bit of topography, but nothing like you'd be getting into if you moved into the Carolinas, if you guys have ever been out towards Fulda Gap or anything, and command decisions. Nothing quite like that. More of a hill or two. The new owners and managers with the new management is Bunny and Spyro Riggs. These people have been involved in paintball for many, many, many years, and they give a crap about this field. They've been there for many years, and they've really grown an amazing community there at this facility. This facility there is an amazing pro shops getting rebuilt, brand new pro shops coming in. We went and worked on the air stations. Their air stations were solid. I don't think any of you guys went lower than 4,500 for your guys' air. Clean air, top notch. It was a good time. Definitely a place where if you guys are located in Texas, set up your necks for Jelly Ball. Airsoft is on the way, as well as also good old-fashioned paintball there. Get your next birthday party out there at 7 Point, Texas. You're going to enjoy it. We will be back there. There will be another event being hosted out there. We will be bringing more Florida men and women out to that facility. It'll be nothing but a good time for you guys, regardless of where they end up putting us. You know us Florida boys, we just get a little hooligans action out there, man. It's a good time, man. I'm checking the chat here real quick. You guys, what up, G Lee? Good to see you, man. Alan Marin, Bunny Riggs. Oh, dude, I loved it, man. It was a great time. Jack, welder in the house, comrade. So, we're going to move on now to our next event that's coming up that we are super stoked for. I love traveling to new lands, new places to put my feet in and really sling some paint out there. And we're heading up to Outdoor Extreme at Angelica, New York. This is a rad facility. Definitely for me and my blood that I love is the bush Wookie. I love getting in the bushes and rumbling in there. Not a great shot. I'm not too good at paintball, but I'm a sneaky, quick guy, and the bushes is where I like to live. Welder, you know what I'm talking about. However, for those of you guys who like up close and personal, there is a city section that is up front, right by the main pro shop, where it's lots of man-made structures, a little bit of a town-esque feel to it. My wife Jenny is going to be the commander for one of the teams there, and the event is based off the very first video game, Tomb Raider. If you have an opportunity, you want to get in on the play of the game a little bit, be an asset at the event itself, pick up the game. You can download it on Xbox, on Game Pass. I think it was for $14. You get all three, the first, second, and third games. Give you a chance to get in the game before you go play the game. My wife ain't too keen on video games, so it looks like I'll be playing the video games while she gets to watch. Tomb Raider is a really fun, iconic game. Those of you guys who have seen the movies, I'm sure you guys have seen those. The games are just iconic as well. They're still making them to this day, as well as major films with it. So definitely, if you get an opportunity, get out to it, man. I'm glad that we got the Swamp Monkeys coming. We've got the Bad Monkeys. We've got Low Lifes coming. It's going to be a fantastic event getting out there, and some new land that we get to put our feet in. The event itself is being hosted by the Sloppy Dogs. There's going to be Bones and Pocket. I love these guys, the Sloppy Dogs. If you guys have ever had an opportunity to run with the Sloppy Dogs or fight against them, you know what kind of good vibes and good times they bring. And Pocket and Bones really do care about the community. They really do care about the event. And this is right in their backyard. They're going to be putting together this event. Good times are had, man. Good times are ahead here. Let's see, we check out the chat here. Yo, what up, Abernathy? What up, Miss Lori? Good to see you. Pedro, what it do? Oh, yeah, dude, I can't deny, dude. Gee, the Aztecs, when we were at Bones and Ashes, Aztecs put on a whooping, bro. Those dudes know how to fight, and I love it. Solid adventure, man. Good times there. Thank you again to Lewis and Kurt for commanding the event. It was a little bit of a short notice in that setting, and they were able to come together, bringing a mass of monsters all across Texas to come out and come fight. And it was a really great time. So we're excited to see now them moving into Tomb Raider, next one on the event list for us. It's going to be a good time, guys. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to take a quick intermission. Nope. Oh, we're not this time. Monkeys. We're going to jump right to it now. Swamp monkeys. Some of you guys have heard the phrase grow the sport. This is something that gets tossed around when people recognize and see that they want to see more youth in the game of paintball. That is very much so what I took to heart. I think we're coming up on 8 years now. When we took on to make a kids paintball team, didn't really know what I was getting myself into. All I knew is that I wanted to influence the youth of tomorrow in any way, shape, or form. And so that's what we did in this setting. So 8 years later, here we have an established team called the Swamp Monkeys. Now is an internationally known team from all over the world, and based here in our swampy Florida. The Swamp Monkeys age works out is simple. From ages 10 to 16 is the age group. Once they are 16 and they are moving onto their 17th birthday, they have then graduated. They are now alumni monkeys. We've had monkeys now over many years graduate and move through here who are now part of our staff members, who are now part of the coaching staff. I'm so thankful for having the parents, the kids, everyone involved in this. It makes it just trying to build our culture of the game that much stronger. I highly recommend, if you are about it and you guys are trying to build something, please reach out to either myself or to Jenny or the field, and we'd be more than happy to share the information that what we've cultivated over the years of things that we've learned, things that would help you, mistakes we made, the right kind of attitudes going into the game. We don't need the world's greatest paintball players if they have a terrible attitude, right? Because that's everything. So we take on those that have the right mentality, who have the right respect, and who are just, we're trying to make quality humans, right? The paintball, the skills, all of that will come in time, but we want great kids to grow into great young adults who would then be the future that we're getting into. So in every aspect of the word, grow the sport, that is what we do here. So I know that we've been talking with the team with Outdoor Extreme, and I know there's going to be follow-ups of the other facilities that are looking to start up their kids or a youth paintball team, or at least a youth paintball program. Really gets where I am at today in my life. I would not be here if it wasn't for my buddy Clint Johnson trying to get me out to go play paintball in the backwoods, man. And I am so thankful for that day, because here it is now. Fast forward. Ooh, I don't like that. How many years? 24 years?
What?
Since the first time I played, it got in 24 years. Brother, I'm hooked. It's my life. And this is how we put food on the table. And it first starts with the youth and getting the kids out and playing the game. So you guys should definitely get into it. And check the chat real quick. Yeah, what up? Yeah, dude, absolutely. Spaz, your son. Prime
Exactly.
example.
Yeah, I was just about to say Spaz started out when he was 11 or 12. And I remember he used to hide behind the bunkers all the way on the back line and think he was doing some good. And then it took how long it took to get fast forward to today, and look at him. He's at the front line at the 50, pushing farther. Yeah.
Absolutely. Now he's joining in then with Solstice Law, being a part of a fully functional scenario paintball referee crew. He's an asset to the team, especially when he's here working with us. It's an incredible thing, man. Absolutely, great to see that. Hands point.
Oh, and happy birthday, Spaz.
Oh, happy birthday, Spaz. Happy birthday, bro. He has officially turned 20 years old. Look out, world. He's got one more year before he becomes a menace to society. So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to take a quick break. We're going to got some of the fun stuff here on the YouTube for you guys to check out some of our fun things of our sponsors and some of the other looks at some of the fields and people who help us. So we're going to cut to that, and we're going to jump right into moving into air tanks.
And now it's time for Scuba's inspirational thought of the day.
Hello, this is Scuba from the Narcoossee Swamps. A little hot out here. Remember, a day without sunshine is, well, night. Have a nice day.
This has been Scuba's inspirational thought of the day.
Go, I'll cover you. Good shot. High five. That was awesome. Good job, bud.
Caught me in a moment, guys. Sorry about that. So, Dezi again here with Outdoor Extreme OX Files here, where the truth is out in the field. We are moving on to our next topic, and that is air tanks and in your markers. We had a gentleman, I won't throw him under the bus. No, damn that. I'm going to So Jonah comes over to the field, okay, with Oyster Squad. He buys a brand new tank from us, puts it on, airs it up, puts it right on his LV2, and starts going to work with it. Fast forward over 60,000 shots later. 60,000, there are 2,000 rounds in a case of paint. 60,000 rounds later, he says, hey, my marker's leaking. I said, not a problem. Let me take a look at it. Let me service your marker for you, top to bottom, all the way up, separate it all and tear it down. And I begin a 6-hour witch hunt of trying to chase where this leak is coming from. I'd fix this part, okay, just there. Chase it back over here, chase it here. Fast forward, 6 hours later, I stopped for a second. I said, let me look at what his output pressure on his tank is. And for those of you guys who don't know, I will tell you guys exactly what it is. For your LV2, your maximum output pressure from your tank needs to be at 450 max. Mr. Gator, would you like to take a guess at what his output pressure was?
I'm going to go with 750.
Oh, I wish it was. It was at 950.
Oh, my.
Okay. 950.
You're kidding. 950?
There are certain guns that do operate on that output pressure. However, it is not Planet Eclipse LV2. Markers such as the Tippmann 98, Automags, markers that are a little bit older design-wise will use a higher output pressure due to the way that it was designed back in the day. However, today, that is not the case with modern markers.
Now, I have a question about that. Is that just because, like, they're blowbacks?
Yeah, so with your
Like
old school
the old school 98s, everything are blowback, right?
Right. With the old school markers, they're using a completely different air chamber and setting that required that amount, because before we had compressed air, Before we had nitrogen, we used CO2. And to this day, there are still fields that will still, in markers that will operate using CO2, such as the Tipex. They'll use the 12-gram CO2s. I believe also the First Strike FSC will also use CO2s. But those were outputting a pressure, like those little 12-gram CO2s, those are outputting over 1,600 pounds of pressure out of it. It's a lot. And when you start messing with these different pressures, you really can make your stuff go wrong. Old school stuff, using the old school design, such as the 98s, your A5s, your carbines, all of those different Tippmann style or the Automag such, they're using a different design of the way that their bolt is. However, today in 2025, that is not the case. We're actually using a much lower output pressure.
So you're saying probably not a good idea to take my my First Strike tank that I have for my EMF 100 and use it on my TMC, right?
It's possible that you're going to run into issues with it just because of how you may find that you're having drop off. You may find that you're having to turn up your velocity that much higher, which is inherently you're using more air because now you're increasing the volume of air. So you want to kind of have if you have it able to, if you can do it. Having a specific tank, if you have multiple markers, you want to have a specific tank that's running with that specific marker for optimum, usage. Using something going down, having a marker that's using a low output pressure, you may not even be able to get it up to velocity. So there are certain issues that you may run into. So what we're doing here is we're going to go over two of your most common regulator systems that you will see with a lot of the markers that you've purchased. In particular, we have on this yellow tank, we have a international made regulator. This is ones that you've seen on a lot of rental tanks, ones that you've seen, more on the affordable side of things. There are reasons for it being a little bit more affordable. On this one, however, what we have is a Made in America tank regulator made by a company called Ninja. Ninja, however, has gone bankrupt and is no longer in use, unfortunately. It's an amazing company and product. So we've got as many parts as we can. Hold on to your guys' Ninja products. They are awesome stuff, and they're really, really easy to maintenance and take care of. So that's what we're going to get right to it here. So first and foremost, let's go and start with our international one. This one here, you're going to want to use a number 2 Allen key. Grab up one of these Allen key sets. You guys can grab over at Harbor Freight, fresh Allen key. One of the more important parts, make sure you know what is using standard versus metric for your different air tank when you're taking care of these. Very, very easy. You can strip the set screws that are holding stuff together, that are holding this bonnet in place. If you do not use the proper Allen key, you can really start rounding it out, and then you have a much more world of problems. Yo, what up, Daniel? Good to see you. Also, forgot to tell you guys. So, when it came to Jonah and his air tank, he blew his solenoid, and he needed a complete brand new solenoid because 60,000 shots on 950 is too much for the marker to handle. Incredible to be said about Planet Eclipse's marker lasting that long on over double the maximum output pressure for it. Something to be said about that. So good job, Jack Wood. So very simple. Got my number 2 Allen key here. On the bottom, you guys will note, on the top here, you guys will notice that there's a couple of set screws. There's only 2 here in this model. What you're going to do is put your Allen key in there, take it, unscrew them. It's always good to have a little magnetic tray or somewhere that you can collect all of your Allen key set screws out of here. Now, some of them, not all of them, because there's different models for all kinds of stuff here. This will actually have a groove that sets here and on the back side so that you can use your adjustable wrench to be able to get set on that right size to remove it. Now, before I go any further, you need to make sure that this air gauge is at 0, okay? You need no air in this thing at all, okay? Do not operate and maintenance this while you have air on the system. You want to have a bad day? That's how you have a bad day. You want a good day? Drain out all of the air. Your local field should be able to do that for you. I've already moved the air in this bottle. So what I do is I get my fancy wrench here to undo it, unscrew it. Now again, when we get to this point as we're separating them, you want to make sure that you know what kind of system you have going into it. This is what you would call a shim stack setting, okay? Once you've gotten inside of here, all of the air is coming through here into your fill nipple. It's reading on the gauge how much air is in there, and any gunk, any dirt, any sand, any garbage, paint, all of that is going to get left inside this fill nipple and is going to get pumped directly into your system. That is where you're going to have problems and burst discs start blowing out. In this setting here, I've taken it now. It takes a little bit of convincing here. Oh man, I can't get it. There she goes. Ah. As we separate it, there she is. What a beauty. This is a very simple standard shim stack. Within this, you will have an O-ring on the bottom. You will have an O-ring up top. Inside of here, you will have a spring and a little pin that is where the ASA inside your marker will engage this, presses down, and engages the air into your marker. Those of you guys who can't see, we're live on Facebook as well. These little parts here and components, you want to make sure that these are clean. Inspect your O-rings. Make sure that they are not compromised. You definitely want to make sure, because that's where problems are going to persist. If you've had a burst disc, which is typically your 1.8 burst disc, if you've had this burst disc go, it's because you probably need to clean this. One of the O-rings went bad. You've got dirt, garbage, something in there developed and built up in there that now it caused the safety valve to go because something's wrong in there. So what it needs then in that setting is just a basic maintenance of it. A couple of the things that you want to have with you, aside from the proper Allen key set, you also want to have yourselves a little tube of 111 compound. 111 compound is going to be used for just a lubricating setting of keeping those O-rings fresh and clean in there, but it's able to hold onto that high pressure system that's inside of here. Man, of course, I'm already got 15% on my battery. So, once you've cleaned this all down, you've made sure that there's no garbage in there, you take your 111 compound, you take a dab of it on your finger, you run it over the O-ring, boom, run it over this back one, the big boy, boom, it's clean, it's now been lubricated, replace it. I'm going to place it back inside the bottle, it fits snug in there. Your spring is going to go in next, right in the top. Then the pin that engages with your ASA sits right on top. This is how you want your system to look as you are heading to put back on your bonnet. Your bonnet, same thing. You want to make sure that you always have, cat knocked it over, Q-tips, clean it out, clean microfiber, clean as a whistle. She's ready to go back together. Slides right on there. Thread her on through. Dun 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 dun. Cinch it on back down tight. Wrench, nice and tight. You put your Allen key set back in. Easy as pie. Easy as can be. Very, very simple tank maintenance right there. It is not as complicated as it seems on the outside, but once you actually get in there and you start looking at the stuff, it's really not that bad. Then, once you're done with it, yep, different tank. Once you've done that, you want to talk to your local field and see if they have a regulator output pressure tester. This one, I've already got some air in here. So what we do is we just thread it on through. This goes to one of our 50 cals, our low impact paintball markers. We use the EMEX. When we thread it in there, you guys will see that gauge just jumped right up there. And so what this is reading here is sitting at 5, 6, 7, 8, about 850. So this is good if we have like a little tyke that wants to use, you know, he's maybe 10 years old playing normal paintball. This is going to be one of those tanks that we can put on the 98s and get him back up and running. However, the EMEC is able to withstand those kind of output pressures on it. Now that you know what your output pressure is, you know that if you need to go in there and remove shims, which we can get to on this next tank, if you need to make an adjustment, this is where we're moving into the adjustment side of it. Now, we're moving into the Made in America one, which means we are going to use American wrenches. American. Same way, make sure you are out of air. We have no air inside the gauge. Easy. So good way, press down on the pin. In this case, this is going to be a ball valve on this one. So you press down here, easy as can be. Perfect. We know that we have no air in it. Remove. Allen key set here. Remove this one. Easy as pie. Now, with this one in particular, this may be, it's a little tough to get to. With me and our rental end of it, I highly recommend you get a microfiber, wrap it around the regulator in this setting so that you don't scratch up your bonnet. But if you're a Florida man and, well, it is what it is. It is what it is. Why are you being a pain? Oh, I can't get this one. There it goes. When you put it on too tight. Perfect. Unthread it here. Now, when you're removing this one, something you want to keep in mind. If this is a ball valve, you don't want to lose the ball. This one here, you notice that there is no shims in here. This one is completely different. You have a simple ball, a spring, and piston setting. This is what the first inside that you will see come out with this. Make sure you don't have a cat around who will end up playing with this. So you guys will see, little ball that sits in there. That's what's actually touching the ASA of your marker, and that's what's engaging the air. Yo, what up, Tim? Zoe, what up, Tankersley? Now, inside of this particular system, you have this giant spring that sits here. Now, this big spring here is what is basically your shim stack that was in the previous one. That's what this one is. This is a spring stack. Then inside of here, let's see if we'll be able to get it out here. There it is. This has a little shim. It's a little washer in this setting. Okay, this little washer here is actually what is changing your output pressure for your tank. If you were to remove one of these, you will lower the output pressure that's going into your tank, that's going into your marker then. So you want to keep that in mind and know what your operating pressure is. So this way, you're not blowing solenoids or ruining gut markers, or your velocity is going to be better, or your shots and all. It really has all that in play. So For now, though, this is operating perfect at 700, and I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to change it. It works perfect. After you've done a cleaning on the inside of it, make sure it's all nice and fancy. Put it back together the same way it came apart. The shim is set in there. The spring is going back in. The piston, this one in particular has 2 O-rings. You want to inspect those 2 O-rings and make sure those are looking good. They're not crusty, they're not split, they're not dry rot. You want to make sure that they look right. These ones here, we were maintaining them today, so we know that these ones are absolutely right. Tricky part, the ball. Make sure this ball sits perfect on top. Put it back together. Thread her on through. Ever so slightly. And that is your basic tank maintenance for working on these markers. However, if you're not feeling certain, if you're not feeling very comfortable with this, it still feels a little unknown, that's okay. A lot of this stuff is unknown to people, and our job here at the field and at all of our Outdoor Extreme locations is to ensure that you feel comfortable with your product and your knowledge. So we are here to educate you. We'll walk you through it. I've got no problem teaching you, but if you want, you can always bring me your tank, and I'll be able to, for a service, I'll be able to service your tank and get you back up to square one again. That is going to conclude really what we are able to do here. I've shown you guys how to maintenance your basic tanks. There are other tank regulators that are out there. Definitely look into your manuals, reach out to the manufacturers so you can learn on the parts that you may need. Don't forget, guys, before we close this out, like, share, and subscribe. And tell us what you guys think of the video. Did we do good? Did we share it? You know, did we give enough information? What should we go over next? Put it in the comments. Let us know, because we're here for you guys. If you're not enjoying it, what's the point in us doing this? That is going to conclude the Outdoor Extreme OX Files here. I'm Dezi. This is Mr. Gator.
Good night, guys.
Peace out. We'll see you guys on the field. All right, y'all. So my phone's about to die. I love you guys. I hope you all had fun. Booyah, bros. Love you guys. Honey, I'll be home soon.
We want to make sure we thank OX Parks, Gator Man, for